Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon or good evening, wherever you are. Let me ask you a simple question. Have you ever met someone for just few minutes and felt like you have known them forever? And then there are times we have known someone for years yet never really connected. That's the power and that's the mystery of human connection. So today I am here with Mastering the Art series with the topic of human connection and why connection matters. So we are going to discuss 8 topics which are going to help you to create a connection instantly with anyone. It has been said there are 19 seconds which usually take a person to create a connection with anyone. Anyone means any stranger as well. And when we start delivering that communication through non-verbal gestures, verbal gestures, communication, language, anything that makes it more impactful. And if we are using these 90 seconds in the best possible manner, what is the first thing you will get? Trust. Second thing, friend or a good colleague, and you can easily interact with that person and can be open for further communication for whatever your objective is regarding that communication. So let's start with this, and I'll let you walk through 8 timeless principles today that can help you to become more magnetic, persuasive, and deeply connected, not by changing who you are, but by unlocking what is already within you. And you will know how to improvise that in yourself. So, number one is importance of making a positive first impression. We always say first impression is something that makes us more easy to communicate. I heard this a lot of time these days that I'm an approachable person. People think that I can be talked with. So, what is there in me because of which they are looking at it? Because there is something which I have worked on. And honestly, I'm telling you, this was not the case. I still remember from my college days when one of my friend told me, you know, Anubhuti, there are 3 people who wanted to talk to you for your assignment, what you're doing in class, but they don't have any reason to talk to you. That's why they are asking me that please get a note from Anubhuti and I'll give it back to you and you can pass it on to Anubhuti. And that was the time when I realized, oh my God, what's wrong in me? Why nobody is talking to me? Am I looking so rude? And that's where I realized that I'm not vibing the energy that someone could approach me, talk to me, although I've not done anything, you know. So these are certain things which we don't know about ourselves, but if you are at a place like me, or if you are at a place where you feel you are not making an impression for anybody else to open up with you, I guess this first point is for you. So for the first impression, the most important thing is you never get a second chance to make an impression. In fact, a study shows that people form opinion about you within first 7 seconds, relation and connect within 12 seconds, and a trustworthy companionship potential in 90 seconds. That's what I already told you, right? Before you even speak, your posture, your energy, your eye contact, and your smile already says a lot about you. Thinking of yourself as a walking introduction, show up with authenticity, but also with intention. That's what we talk about energy, right? Whenever we are talking to someone, whenever we are approaching to someone, if we are sharing it authentically, even our opinions are resonating with them or not, but if we are authentic to ourselves and we are just being ourselves, it could make a lot of difference. And that's where we can represent ourselves as a person. If you don't speak, it also speaks a lot about you. Remember that. So why don't you speak? Say one sentence, whatever you can say. It doesn't harm you, right? Because people don't remember what you said, they will remember how you made them feel. All right. So the next one is power of active listening. Whenever we say something about communication, active listening comes to a place. What is the difference between active listening and listening? Listening is something, okay, yeah, okay, okay, ठीक है, yeah, all right. This is how usually we go in the conversations where somebody is saying something and what we are doing, we are just nodding, or if we are on phone, we are just trying to interact with the person and saying, okay, which is not bad. It depends on the situation, but you really want to grab the attention of the other person, really want to create a very good trust with the other person. The most important thing that comes in place is active listening. Listening is not absence of talking, it's a presence of attention. How to display that is something that I'll give you some examples. We always wanted to feel heard, but we usually nod and it doesn't make any sense to the other person. For example, I'm just talking to you, I'm looking at the mobile. You know what, this is what is happening and all, whatever, whatever. So this doesn't make a good connection, right? Even I'm looking to the screen right now also, I know that I'm not very used to see the camera directly, but sometimes I glance over the camera as well. I'm still in practice. But this is a place where you catch attention of people. Practical reflective listening is one of the plays where you can paraphrase or ask thoughtful questions or hold an eye contact, which signals that I'm here for you. I'm not just hearing, I'm understanding you. For example, if somebody said, you know what, I don't know what happened over there, but I felt sad. You don't know what was the scenario, but you want to listen to that person. What thing you can see? The paraphrase thing says that you can repeat the last three words of whatever they said. Oh, you were sad, which means I am listening, I'm here, I'm present in the moment, and I'm totally engaged into the conversation, what you want to do with me. So, this is one way of dealing with the connections. Another one is looking into the eye, not as a stare, but as a firm, a light blinking, and a little bit smile or a serious or intense expression depending on the conversation. It should not go bland because your face speaks a lot with rather than your words. You understand that? So people will forget what you said, but they never forget that how you made them felt about. So this time, this feeling is more about reflecting back, paraphrasing something, giving the eyes a nod of sympathizing, focusing. You understand that it's a human behavior which is very common, and when we are talking to a newborn baby, we how do we react? Hello. Uh-huh. What they are doing. They don't understand our language, but they look at us, they see the smile, they see the eyes, they see how cheerful we are while talking to them, and they also start laughing or they also start smiling. This is also active listening, and this is also something which is related to human behavior, even it is a 0 years old baby or a 85 years old person. It works same for all the humans, by the way. Now, coming to the third point, how to use mirroring for instant connections. What is mirroring? So, this is basically common between the people who are attracted to each other. So, if you have ever learned or read about the articles where people feel that somebody is attracted to me, and the teenagers in the video can easily understand that you can feel that if I'm sitting like this, somebody who is watching or who is talking to me gradually do this. And the most easy experiment and most common experience in yawning. So if you are yawning, then whoever is listening to you will gradually absorb your energy and start yawning even though they are not feeling sleepy or bored. So this is a sign somebody is listening to you, and some mirror activities are subconscious and some mirror activities are intentional, which means it goes like I am in the same wavelength as yours. So, for example, if you are doing like this, the other person could also start doing like this, you know. So, we synchronize actions based on how intensively, how attentively we are listening to the other person. And this is called mirroring, which creates an instant connection with the other person. The next one is using language to foster connection. What do you mean by language? So, words are more than tools, they are like bridges. The right words can make someone lean in, but the wrong ones can make you let them down. We never want a person to feel that we are letting them down. कहते हैं ना, मेरे मेरे बातों ने पूरी बात बिखेर के रख दी, पर मैं चुप थी या चुप था तो बात बन रही थी. And this is the same thing that happens whenever we talk about language in fostering the connections. So we always have to try to use inclusive phrases like I hear you. मैं समझ सकती हूँ. I can hear you. That makes sense. जो आप कह रहे हो वो मुझे पूरी तरह से समझ में आ रहा है. Tell me more, which means मुझे और जानना है इस बारे में. Be mindful of your tone, not just the content, because it is not just the way you say that, it's how you say that. Okay, the same thing could be said in different words, different lines. The words could be same, the tone could be different. Even the words are not right, but the tone is right. So things balances each other with the overall language. Language is a consolidated form of non-verbal, verbal language means words, as well as your expressions and tone used during the conversation. All right, we come to the fifth point, which is trust and credibility, which is known as invisible glue. So, trust is not something which is built overnight, but it can be lost within a second. So, if you remember, I do remember there was one of my friend who asked me to visit to a place, and I asked her that, okay, I'm waiting over here for half an hour. And one thing she said while I was reaching to that destination, she said, sorry, yaar, my boss have called me right now. Tomorrow is the meeting, and I just want to show him how good I'm working and I just want to skip this. So it was a very genuine thing, but it made me felt hurt because I was already doing something I was pretty excited. So she dismissed that part where somebody is trying to give time to that person, and that was not added. What happened after that? I tried to trust that person a lot, but it made me feel like no, I cannot trust them. Next time, whenever they are saying, are they going to address me? The only one single line of communication which was coming from them, like, where are you? What are you doing? Is it okay if I take this time? And let the other person respond back to you. It looks like a dismissal if you are just talking in your own way, and a person who is engaging in a communication with you is being sidelined just because you have some other priority or work. It's really difficult because when we are in a flow, it's really challenging to stop ourselves. But if you really respect and practice a lot, it makes a lot of difference in yours and the other person's life. And that's exactly what trust about. So you have to be consistent of what you are saying, what you are doing, as well as transparent enough to express yourself, not dismissing, because dismissal means that something the other person would say and you won't be able to do. But the other person would not be carrying forward that relationship as well. You understand that? So, consistency, transparency follows through, which becomes trust, along with the conversations. These are the bricks of building trust. Now, second thing is credibility. Credibility isn't about perfection, it's all about being real, admitting what you don't know, and showing up anyway. So, I do remember when I was young, my school have sent me for extempore, and I had to present myself for some women specific speech which I was not prepared with, and I just have to give that speech. And I saw the people, there were around 50 people, and my father was enrolling me, registering my name over there for the extempore. So, so I was like, what should I do over here? I don't know anything. So what I did was I went to that person who was registering the applications, came from different schools, and I told him, sir, मुझे नहीं पता मुझे क्या बोलना है. And he laughed, he smiled, and he said, see, if you are here, definitely there is a reason why you are here. So I suggest you, what you do is you address these kind of people. And he had given me tuck 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 3 4 points, like what kind of people are over here. Some are from village, some are government employees, some are this. And then you can make your pointers and can try to give examples of it. And it made me realize that it was not bad. If I don't know anything, the person have trusted me that I can say something. And that's exactly a place where I realize credibility can be built even if you ask for help, or even if you say, I don't know this, probably you have to help me. And again, showing up is all what you have to do. Trust is the glue that holds any connection together. And definitely, credibility, consistency, transparency, and trust. These are the building blocks of any communication. Coming to the sixth point, which is overcoming communication barriers. Barriers don't look like walls. Sometimes it's a misunderstanding, a tone, an assumption, a cultural difference as well. To overcome, there are 4 things which you have to do. The first one is ask clarifying questions. So if you don't understand that, and somebody even higher in hierarchy is saying something to you, you can easily say, sorry, I didn't get you. Sorry, I didn't understand. Can you repeat that, please? This point is something which is still confusing to me. Can you explain it more? So there are 2 things happening over here. First, you are getting the clarity. Second, you are an active listener. This is the reflection which is going to the other person. Saying ha ha ha, okay, 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 and then going back to the other person and asking क्या बोल रहा था ये, doesn't make any difference. The value and credibility would be created at the same time when you try to ask the clarifying questions. Second is avoid jargons. So I've seen these days there are a lot of jargons which are being used. For example, COH or LOD. Everything LOL have different meanings everywhere. But does it make sense for a person whom you don't know? Does it make sense if I'm talking to a French person and I say something which meant something different in Indian culture versus the French culture? I don't know their culture, but probably that could create a cultural difference and can create some barriers as well during the communication, right? So, this is also another thing. Then, the third thing is slow down when needed. So, there are many times when I'm talking to any person from English countries, especially London or US, they usually prefer to speak slow because they had to work with a lot of different countries. Those are Asian countries mostly, and these are not purely English speaking countries. India is yet an English speaking country, but the countries in Southeast Asia are still following their local language more prominently. So at these areas, they are pretty open to speak slowly, firmly, in a neutral accent. And there's a practice of neutral accent which is being used, and which is very good if you are working or dealing with the global cultures, global organizations, because it will give you a credibility for your professional communications as well. All right. So the last one is, and most importantly, seek to understand, not just respond. As I already said, that whenever you ask a clarifying question, whenever you try to listen actively, definitely this is not something you have to do additionally, because it responds in a way that you are seeking to understand, not waiting to respond just as soon as the person stop talking and you just start saying something. No. Take a pause, reflect, maybe ask one or two questions and then say something, which creates an impact like, I've listened to you, I understood you, but this is a place where probably we have a mismatch in communication or something. I want to add one more perspective to whatever you said. So it is acknowledged and then given. Without acknowledgement, anything given is like dismissal of the communication. Seventh point is cultivating a positive mindset to attract others. Energy is contagious. If you walk into the room with anxiety and anger, people can feel it. But if you are entering with a calm confidence, you attract curiosity, not resistance. A positive mindset is not about the fake optimism. Yeah, come on, come on, come on. It's more about being in yourself. It's all about resilience, gratitude, acknowledging the people, and the choice to respond instead of react. As I said, author James Clear said once that you don't need to rise the level of your goals, you fall to a level of your systems. And mindset is your system. So if you work on everything depending on your mindset, which is your system of all the emotions you reflect, that is a place where you are already starting on your goal, you know. So obviously, your reactions, your emotions, your energy, which you are giving to the person without saying anything, is something which is being created by your mindset at that particular level or situation. The last one is the art of persuasion with ethics. Persuasion is not manipulation. Persuasion is basically understanding the values of yourself and the other person and aligning your message in a way where that could be addressed for both the systems. So the other person is also understanding from where you are coming, and you also understand, like the other person, if they are reactive on certain situations, what exactly they are coming from. So ask a lot of questions which could reduce the misunderstanding, and you can easily express yourself that I truly care what you said and I'm open to listen to you. Okay. Use the stories, use logic. Stories is an easier way to make the person understand the source of the conversation to the destination of the conversation. Logics also make a lot of difference. Emotions, of course, if I am saying, okay, which means I am in a mode of agreeing to you because of hierarchy or some other power dynamics or whatever. Okay, this means you are cheerful, you are going to do it. One single word, different emotions, different meanings, but always use integrity. Whatever you are expressing along with the word is something that makes you more defined person during the communication. When people trust your intention, they are more likely to hear your message. Great persuaders don't push, they pull, they attract. So, what do you learn today? Just write in the comment, share with me, and let me know what is your feeling about this. So, my final thought is to wrap up, I would say connection is not a skill for extroverts. Mind it. Even if you're an introvert or a shy person, you're not speaking anything, you are still speaking with all the things you carry as a human. It's a human need, it's a human gift. We connect when we are fully present and when we listen, not just we reply, but we also understand. When we let our words align with our values, we make the other person express ourselves that we care for you. We are there for you. When we mirror kindness and we speak with intention, we build trust day by day and improvise our connections. The most magnetic person in the room is the one who make the other person feel seen. I will repeat that. The most magnetic person in the room is the one who make others feel seen. So don't aim to impress, aim to connect. Because real influence doesn't start with power, it starts with presence. Thank you so much.